This relates to quick news. You had these mass raids are interrupted relating to illegal immigrants, relating to labor work as far as like farms, for example, farm workers, disrupting that process of that. You had some major floods in areas of New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York. You had pictures of New York, the subways were flooding, water. You had that last year or the year before too. So you're seeing a lot of intense weather. You having they were recalling relating to somebody was recalling relating to a situation that happened at the assisted living facility. It's called the Gabrielle House, and that was in Massachusetts. You have the incident there. You had U.S. houses targeting China central mineral dominance. You had Trump also toting relating to 100% possibly tariffs relating to Russia if they don't, relating to regarding Ukraine relating to a ceasefire. So allegedly, so by September, I believe it said 50 days. There was various reports on that. Relating to them floods, you had individuals overnight being deleted. You had major floods in Pennsylvania, areas of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, like I said, New York. Something relating to of course, also a whole gun ban relating to for drug dealers. And you had senators question Mike Waltz relating to the U.S. ambassador position. You have Falun Dafa calling Canada calls for relating to persecution. Let me look up something. Falun Dafa is known as Falun Gong. It's a spiritual practice that combines exercise with moral philosophy centered on principles of truthfulness, compassion, and forbearance. So in Canada, they were protesting relating to, relating to that, talking about that. This is Taoist traditions, adheres to belief in principles that can lead to improved health, spiritual elevation, deeper understanding of the universe. So, it's heathen customs, basically. You had, what else you had? Let me see, let's get some more news. Oh, you had relating to the State Department. They lay off over 1,300 workers. The State Department effects relating to passports can be interrupted as far as the process with that. This video is talking about that. Because the State Department, they work on relating to passports, get immigration, different things, passports and different types of due process. So that's going to be, I'll hinder that, So, and the courts gave permission to Trump to gut or cut relating to that. areas of that, and also the educational aspect as well. You have France spending more money on defense to boost up their military. Scripture talks about even the weak shall be strong in fight. You know what I mean? In a matter of speaking, Russia warns you relating to trilateral drills. Russia, North Korea. North Korea is warning U.S. relating to threatening their sovereignty, which is their power, man. Russia was warning them as well, relating to Japan, South Korea, relating to doing, trilateral drills in those areas, man. Those are reports, various reports. You had something in Philly, a 10,000 black worker walkout in Philly. You also had a lot of stuff. You had a strike, a major strike, which they resolved, but it wasn't the numbers they wanted. And before then, you had a lot of in Philadelphia, like a lot of people were burning trash because I guess the district or the worker, for the union workers and stuff like that, their contract they got, they wanted the money, a certain amount of money, they didn't get it, so they end up going back. But in that process, there's a lot of trash and different things. You know what I mean? Some people even burning trash in those trash bins and different things. So you see in the city starting to break down, man. Babylon is breaking down. You know what I mean? So you having reports relating to in Sudan relating to slaughtering of women and children. You had a crisis in Yemen where two sections of West Bank, they were even attacking reporters, torching cars and different things. You also have it relating to the Carl Vinson deployment. They returning from the Middle East, going back to their home port, San Diego, because they've been out in that port for about 200 something days relating to the Houthi situation, because they had a carrier group presence in that area. And so you're seeing a lot of news talking about the dollar. You're seeing a global shift relating to the dollar. There's a report here talking about CBN News. China surge into the Pacific shocks U.S. allies. So so they're showing their presence. And I believe Taiwan is talking about like Tomahawk missiles they can use too and stuff. Also, Trump relating to that 100%, he'll say he'll supply Ukraine with more weaponry. And like to more news, 90 billion energy investment. Trump talking about Pennsylvania energy and different things. $90 billion investment. And a report talks about how would the allies respond if U.S. had to intervene relating to the Ukraine situation to defend Ukraine against China, man. You're seeing a surge of unemployment increasing. A lot of layoffs. I believe IKEA was like 2,400 workers. IKEA, I believe, in the Oregon plant and also in California. So you see these different entities they laying off relating to these jobs, man. So the place is breaking down, man. They still talking about these Epstein things with Pam Bondi and Jeffrey Epstein and Trump, And now regarding the tariffs, going into effect, inflation rising, fuel prices increasing, a lot of instability, uncertainty. You know what I mean? And there was a video, World Affairs in Context. That's what's going to happen. Continuing inflation, continue increase of prices, the goods and different things. Scripture says, knowing this in the last days, a perilous time shall come. Perilous goes to bad, evil, and troublesome times, man. Let me see something real quick. Russia responds to ultimatum, Trump's ultimatum. So you're going to have reciprocally going to be response to whatever U.S. do. All these other countries going to respond. You know what I mean? Scripture says, be circumspect and not as fools, as wise, redeeming the times, because the days are evil. The days are evil. That's why you have to be watchful, be circumspect, being watchful, paying attention, because at times we're in, a lot of things, the dynamic, the shift is beginning, man, of a lot of things, economically, socially, a lot of things are happening, man. Senate convenes as on Trump recession package deadline. Senator Booker scolds Walz for profound cowardice. The Signal Gate response. MOD data leak that put up 100,000 lives at risk. So compromising security risk to what? Potential military, possibly, different things. That's the report here. You have White House appeals in order to immigration raids. DOJ fire impact case against Florida man. What to know about the big one big beautiful bill, BBB, can affect your taxes. President Trump calls California Senator Adam Schiff a lowlife. A lowlife. Vance Buelter indicted for a federal grand jury. It's not getting better, any better. You have a trash pile up as Massachusetts garbage workers strike. Stench in 3 weeks. You had that in Philadelphia for a while. Stench, and they were burning trash. So now you're having them issues like that in Massachusetts now. You know? Chuck Schumer drops the hammer on Republicans over proposed cuts to public broadcasting. Fuel to Air India plane was cut off moments before the crash. Investigation. What is that? Investigates that. Right to the black box. Transportation Safety Board. Yeah, they investigate that. All right, cuts as Department of Education could hit vulnerable students hard. With them cuts, affects different things for funding to maximize relating to for educational aspects for students and different things, man. You know what I mean? So it affects the students. Scripps News. 2 were deleted after cars swept. That relates to flash floods in New Jersey. You had some in Pennsylvania. You had some in New York. Like I said, rail down underground subways, they were flooding. Water coming down all, you know what I mean, flooding that whole area. What else we have? You have something here. Scripture talks about fearful sights and signs from the heaven, Luke 21. So you're seeing signs in the sky, different things. That's what I was talking about, flash floods. That happened a year ago as well, so it's nothing new. That's what I was talking about earlier. This goes to the West Bank, Palestinians even attacking CNN crews. You know what I mean? So, you know, a very hostile environment, man. Scripture talks about it's a time for love, a time to hate, a time for peace, a time for war. You know, we in a time of war, man. 3:8 of Ecclesiastes. So that's the times we're in, man. We're not in a time of love. We're in a time of war. We're in a time of contention. We're in a time of strife. You know what I mean? Especially on a international, global aspect, man. Whether financially, you're seeing a breakdown. Socially, you're seeing a breakdown. You're seeing a lot of things happening, man. It might not look like it's affecting here, but it eventually, you know, it will slowly come where it'll start manifesting here, man, in this country. You know what I mean? Where it be obvious. Right now it's not obvious. But incrementally stuff is happening, you know what I mean? Stuff is happening. So this is just quick reports. I hope it helps relating to information. This is Zaya Wolf. All praise Yahweh Shem Yahshua Bashim Makagana Zaya Wolf.